Welcome back to Phillips Hot Rod Garage. This week's challenge is to get this to fit right here. In last week's video, we got the whole entire cowl assembly put together, everything except the driver's side cowl side. We're going to get started working on getting this piece fitted in this week. Hopefully by the end of the video, we'll have this piece done, and we might even get some more stuff done on the car. I don't know yet. We're just going to get busy, see how far we can get. All right, guys, so the first thing I want to do is I want to put the original rusty cowl side back on. I want to put this panel on, and I want to put a mark down the panel on the A-pillar so that when I put my new panel on, I'll see if it lines up with that mark. If it doesn't line up, I can take this over to the shrinker and the stretcher, whichever one I need, and I can make some adjustments to this to get this thing shaped exactly the way it was from the factory. So that's where we're going to get started. All right, well, undoubtedly I drilled the tank out to a little bit larger size on the other side. I don't remember doing that, but I must have, because this 1/4-inch bolt will not fit in the hole. I was able to get it in by using a ratchet wrench, but the hole is definitely a little bit small. But that's good enough just for me to get a mark. All right, that'll work. All right, so I've got a clearly visible line established right where it goes. So now I can see how close this one's gonna line up. All right, so clearly we already have problems. So let me bring you in and show you what I got to do. All right, so I've got it clamped in place. You can see here on the front, it's sticking out way too far. That's not good. The reason for that is because this lip down the back of this, it's way too flat. It's got to be hammered around a pretty good bit to make the front of this piece be able to go in. And I'm going to take you to the inside and show you what's going on in there. All right, right down in here, you can see the new panel right here. It's hitting the subrail extension right here. So I gotta put a mark along there and cut some of that panel off. As you can see right in here, it's definitely sticking out too far. That's gotta go in a good bit. So I'm going to cut some of that lip off. Oh yeah, that'll fit down here now. That did good. Just what I needed. So we're good at the bottom now. That'll work. So now what I've got to do is hammer this lip down. Go ahead and get that done now. All right, so this is just going to be a little trial and error deal here. Just going to hammer it over a little bit just to get it to fit up there. We can come back later, adjust it a little bit, whatever we got to do to get it perfect. All right, let's see how that looks now. All right, so there's after I hammered it a little bit. It's definitely better. Definitely better. But now I got to hammer this lip down some. It's kind of trying to catch on that a little bit right in here. So I'm gonna hammer that down a little bit. Hopefully it'll go in a little further. And I'll probably hammer this lip around a little bit more. Don't think I went quite far enough with that. Let's try that again. All right, so as you can see, it's getting better every time. We got to go in at the top some more. The only way we can do that is we got to put some curve into the front of this panel here. We got to put some shape in it. The firewall is actually curved right here. This panel is completely flat. So we got to put some shape into the panel there. And then here down the back, you can see at the top, we're just about flush here with my line. And at the bottom down here, we're flush with the A-pillar. But I can see one of the bolt holes there. That means that panel's too flat, and you can see it in the line here. Panel's too flat in the middle. So I gotta take this thing over to the shrinker, and I gotta shrink a pretty good bit in this area right here on that inside lip to pull that panel out. That should start getting us in the ballpark. All right, so what I gotta do now is put some marks on the panel. I'm just gonna put some marks on here, the width of the jaws of the shrinker. That way I can keep up with where I'm at. So I'll shrink a little bit, move down, shrink, and I'll shrink an even amount all the way down. Those marks will help me know where to keep my jaws at so that I'm shrinking evenly. That's my idea. That's how I think it'll work the best. I'm no expert at this. Guys, I learn as I go. Now after doing the other side, I'd made up my mind I was gonna get a flexible measuring tape, but I never did. Never did order one, so I'll just go with this. I really do need a flexible measuring tape. This is not really precise, accurate measurements, so it's good enough. We're gonna go 2 inches. Every 2 inches. That'll be close enough. All right, we'll see if that made any difference. Well, I guess you heard that. Not what I wanted to happen. It moved. I gotta move it back. That'll work. All right, we'll try that. Let's put a little curve in there. I think I got some curve in it then. All right, let's try to stick it back up there. I can already tell that's going to be a lot better. All right, so I got it a good bit better. It's in further here than it was before, and it's getting closer to the line here. We still got to come out a little bit in the middle right here, but you can see we're out to the line here, and we're covering over this bolt hole now. That's pretty good. But let me show you one other thing that's going on. I got to do something about this. It looks like the A-pillar kind of comes to more of a point here than the cowl side does. It looks to me like I'm just gonna have to kind of hammer this corner in just a little bit. I think that's probably the best thing to do. All right, I got the A-pillar hammered in a little bit, but I'm gonna try to modify this panel just a little bit too. I'm gonna try to roll it in some on this corner, about like that. I think if I hammer that panel in right there, I think that'll be enough to get it to fit that A-pillar. But before I can hammer that in, I gotta cut some of this lip off right here. A little bit too long. That's gonna hinder me from being able to hammer that over. So let me get to cutting. All right, now I'll see what I can do about hammering that over some. Let's try that and see how close it is. All right, let's try it again. Put some clamps on it now. All right, let me show you how that looks. All right, guys, so after a little bit of hammering on the cowl panel here, move this edge of the panel over just a little bit, about a 1/16 maybe. Then I hammered in some of the A-pillar right here. After hammering on that a while, I got that fitting up good. Now if you'll take a look right here, we're pretty close to the line. We're actually close enough that I don't think I'm gonna mess with that. That's perfect in my book. So the only thing I got left to do now is to get this fixed right here. Got to get this to go in. I got to add a little bit of shape to the panel right here. Before I take this thing over there and start getting serious with it, just gonna give it a little bit of old-fashioned bend it under your shoe. See if that'll do it. Oh yeah. The old bend it under your shoe trick did pretty good. That's close enough now. When I put the bolts in it, it'll put it right in place. I'm happy with that. Real happy with that. All right, I'm gonna clamp it on there. All right, guys, that's looking super good. It's all flush, fitting well here. It's clamped in place. Fitting up tight to the firewall down the front. Got some shape in it there. Fits good down the back. All the way down. Fits good here. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so now we got to come in here, get all these holes marked. See those holes up the back there. And we got some on the top up here. You see, we got to get those marked, got to get it drilled. Then we can put some bolts in it. All right, so there's several ways you could go about doing this. I've got a scribe here that I could just go down into the holes and try to make a mark in there. I could try that. You could use a marker, but you can't get down in there. And if you came from the bottom here, it would just be kind of a guessing game to try to figure out where the holes are. So what I did was I just decided to do something just quick and easy. And I took a pencil like this one, and I just cut it off really short so I can get it down in this hole right here. I'm just gonna make the circle in there. This pencil lead makes really nice marks there on the panel. Be easy to see. So what I'm going to do is just take a pair of vice grip needle nose pliers, or should I say needle nose vice grip pliers. I'm going to clamp this little short piece of pencil in the end of these so I can hold it. Can't hardly hold it with my fingers up in that groove. And I'm just going to go up in there and put a mark. I'm going to do the hardest one first. That should be good. That's working so good, I think I'll go ahead and get this one. All right, this one. All right, so I think the pencil trick, the needle nose vice grips, I think it worked out really good. All right, I got to get it off here and get it drilled. All right, the marks are real easy to see. So I'm just gonna take this punch and mark the center of each one of those. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna drill these out to a 5/16. I'm using 1/4" bolts, but if you put a 1/4" bolt in a 1/4" hole, it makes it hard to line the panel up because the hole is so tight around the bolt. And I want the panel to be a little bit adjustable so I can move it in and out a little bit, be able to wiggle it around to get it to line up before I tighten it down. So I'm gonna come all the way up here to a 5/16. 5/16 gives you a little wiggle room so that you can move the panel around and adjust it and then tighten it down exactly where you want it. Don't want to clamp it to the table too tight because the panel's curved. That ought to work right there. That bit's dull. Let me change bits. All right, I got a brand new 5/16 bit. That's definitely much better. All right, the last hole is getting drilled to a 7/32 because I'm just putting in a number 12 machine screw. All right, let's bolt it on. All right, that's it. It's bolted up. It looks good across here. It's all flush. Fits nicely with the cowl top, the old gas tank. Fits tight down the back. It's flush down here at the bottom. So I can't ask for better than that. It fits pretty good. Fits pretty good. It's nice and tight down the firewall here. It's looking good. All right, guys, the cowl assembly is almost done. There's only just a couple of little small things I got left to do. So let me bring you in and show you what it is I got to do next. All right, so what I got to do next is I got to put 2 more bolts in this cowl side, one about middle ways and one here at the bottom. Those bolts hold the firewall to the cowl side. Now, I believe originally these were rivets. I may put rivets back in, I don't know. They were missing when I bought the car. Somebody had already drilled them out. So I don't know if it carries rivets or bolts. I need to go check and see. I have another old cowl in storage that I'm gonna go measure because I'm really not sure how this thing fits, and that's why I stopped working on it. I gotta go do some measuring because the depth here, the distance between the end of the cowl here and the end of the cowl side here and the firewall is different than what I got at the bottom. And there's a lot of pressure against this. I really can't push that back very easily. So I don't know if it's supposed to fit like this or not. Now on the passenger side, what I did over here was I just forced it back at the bottom so that my distance here and my distance at the top were the same. But I really don't know if it's supposed to be that way. I can always come out here and move this bolt out a little bit. See, the bolt hole's about in the same place as the top. So I'm really not sure if for some reason I'm having to apply a lot of pressure down here to try to get that pushed back. And it's supposed to be back like that. Maybe the firewall's bowed somehow. Or if I'm just fighting a battle that I shouldn't be fighting. I mean, maybe it's supposed to be like this. I don't know. I'm gonna go check out another cowl that I've got, do some measuring and see. So that'll be in the next video. We'll try to get that issue right there worked out. And I think when that's worked out, I think pretty much I'll be done with these cowl sides until I get them back up onto the frame and start cutting the bottom of them off and get them modified to fit that 32 frame. Well, all right, guys, there you go. It's looking good. The cowl's coming along great. I wish I could have got the whole thing done in this video, and I was kind of hoping to get that done really quick and get on to something else, but sometimes we leave room for wishful thinking and we begin to think we're going to get done more than we can actually get done sometimes. And that's the way it is with these projects. We get all excited and we think we're going to get a lot of work done in a short period of time, but really it takes a lot of time to do just a little bit of work. That's how it actually works. So guys, I hope in the next video maybe we can finish those couple of little things on the cowl right there. There's not much to do, and then we can move on to possibly putting the quarters and all back on so that we can get this body back in one piece so we can get it back on the frame and get a little bit more fabrication work done. So guys, I appreciate the comments. Thank you all for subscribing. Last time I looked, I think we're about 810 subscribers on the channel. I appreciate every one of you, but I need a few more subscribers to get to that 1,000 mark. So if you guys are watching and you've not subscribed, I appreciate it if you're just going ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the notification bell, keep up with the videos. And for all of you that always leave me comments every week, I thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate every one of you. I'll see you guys in the next one.